Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. We've been doing a series on the 10 bowls of Zen, the 10 bowls being kind of an analogy for the progression of practice. So we might see as time goes on, especially as our meditative journey continues, as we become more and more concentrated, as our mind is wandering less and less through the natural process of the practice, we may find that we go into a deeper exploration of self, and that's really what this is about. So we've gone through 3 of the 10 bowls, and now we're on the 4th one. Today's topic is called catching the bowl. So just go ahead and show you the picture that goes with today's practice. Today's lesson is this one. So the steps that we've gone through so far are starting with the search for the bull, discovering the footprints. 3 is perceiving the bull, and 4 is catching the bull. So in perceiving the bull, we're just catching a glimpse. We're seeing we're getting to that point, perhaps in our meditation practice, where we're getting that first glimpse of what ourselves look like. What we begin to look like without our own judging minds being involved in everything that we're doing. That we, in fact, this is what the word vipassana means, right? Vipassana means seeing things as they truly are. And so catching the bull, or finally getting to a point where we are a bit more concentrated, and having a bit more mastery over self. And so I'll read the poem here that goes with the catching the bull, and also read a little bit of commentary about it. So, catching the bull. I seize him with terrific struggle. His great will and power are inexhaustible. He charges to the high plateau, far above the cloud mists, or in an impenetrable ravine he stands. The comment here from Zen Flesh, Zen Bones is, he dwelt in the forest for a long time, but I caught him today. Infatuation for scenery interferes with his direction. Longing for sweeter grass, he wanders away. His mind is stubborn and unbridled. If I wish him to submit, I must raise my whip. And then some additional commentary. Now comes the time of struggle, when the honeymoon is over, when we are catching the bull and realize the power of our illusory self with its tendencies and idiosyncrasies. As Lily Marie Johnson remarked, although he is always with you, you can't turn around fast enough to see him. The bull stands, says the poem, in an impenetrable ravine. For meeting with peace, our true nature failed. For meeting with the peace of our true nature is really also the meeting with the strength and power of our illusory self. It is interesting to note that the taming of the bull is also an image of taming the ego, consciousness having no need to be worked upon since it's already present and fully achieved. So we'll move into taming the bull next time. So I think interestingly too is we had a little chat last time about taming animals, and what's the difference. Is it possible to be befriending, right? Befriending maybe a better word sometimes than taming. And I think one of the reasons that the word taming is used is, I use the example of an elephant as well, is that these are wild animals. I mean, I know Jean had mentioned something about being a horse whisperer, and I think that The horse is more of a domesticated animal. The bull is not an animal that you really can ride, no matter how much you tame a bull. I mean, even an elephant can be ridden, but bulls cannot. And so I think the word taming, and you'll see in the next time as well, we talk about the whip being necessary, the taming the bull. The first words of the poem for taming the bull: the whip and rope are necessary. Else he might stray off some dusty road. Being well trained, he becomes naturally gentle. And I think this is what's interesting as well. Is not that we let self-compassion go to the wind. There always is room for self-compassion, but I think what this taming has to do with is a certain amount of discipline that's required in practice. That self-compassion doesn't mean being easy on yourself, and I think maybe that's kind of where where we might get confused. And I think that it's important to note that self-compassion doesn't mean that we aren't disciplined anymore. Because if we are undisciplined, then we never make it. We never end up making improvements to ourselves, and there is some amount of discipline, and I think that there's a difference between discipline and being harsh. That part of discipline is to be dedicated and to continue working, and yeah, I mean, is it possible to be firm yet loving at the same time? And I think that's one of the examples that I've used as well, is this S.N. Goenka talking to a monk in a cubicle, or S.N. Goenka's teacher reprimanding a monk in a cubicle who he knew he could get more out of him. It's also, think about it as a coach as well. So a coach can be very motivating, using a very strong motivational language to get performance out of the athletes that he's working with. And I think that this is also something that we need. We can be disciplined on ourselves, and I think as well, when a coach is challenging, or is challenging his players, it's not done out of hatred by any means. It is done with that desire to achieve, and with often to the players that he loves most, because he knows that if he works hard with them, with discipline, that he can get more out of them. So catching the bull does require some discipline, and it requires discipline in our practice, and it requires us to keep working hard. So would encourage you to keep up your practice, and know that the mind, I really do think this analogy works well, the mind as a wild animal. And I did also want to reflect back. So a few months ago, I did a series on Shunryo Suzuki, and there's one that if you can look it up in the YouTube videos. There's one that's called "What Kind of Horse Are You?" And what kind of horse are you is, how are you born? Are you born with, is it easy for you to learn and to be disciplined, or are you the kind of horse that needs a lot of firm instruction? And so learning about yourself and knowing what it is that you need to be able to achieve the most out of your practice. And I guess I don't often use the word achieving here, but it is important to have some degree of discipline. That's really where we are as well. I know we do talk a lot about self-compassion, but there's always a balance in our practice, a balance of how much effort do I put in and how much ease is there, how awake am I, how much am I falling asleep. So always finding that there's some balance between these two in our practice. So look forward to the comments So feel free to write whatever is coming up for you. This, of course, is a 12th century poem. The idea of training and taming animals is different, perhaps. So let's go ahead and get into practice, okay? So sit up straight and tall. Assuming a posture that is reflective of your determination, reflective of your will to stay focused. So just like an orator at the front of a room, it helps to have a posture of dignity. That will help that orator to have the self-confidence to be in front of the room. So likewise, your posture can be reflective of your determination. So whatever that kind of dignified, determined posture looks like for you. Knowing that there is a balance. Finding a posture that reflects that balance of alertness and relaxation. Knees below the hips. Letting that natural curvature in the lower spine, in the lumbar spine region, form in the body. Seeing if you can let the face relax. Let the jaw relax. Let the bottom teeth come away from the upper teeth, keeping the lips closed if you can. Breathing through the nostrils. Letting the shoulders relax. The back relaxed. The abdominal muscles relaxed, feeling how the breath moves the abdomen. Breathing in, the belly expands. Breathing out, the abdominal wall comes back towards the spine. Feeling how that process repeats over and over again as we breathe. Expansion, contraction. Expansion, contraction happening in its own pace, without your control. You can see that your breath moves your body. And you can simply be here, a passive observer. Noticing that each time you breathe, the body changes shape. And you can feel it. You can feel perhaps the chest rising slightly, the abdomen moving, the clothing gently brushing against the skin. Can you feel the air moving through the nostrils? Cooler air as you breathe in, warmer air as you breathe out. Perhaps you want to follow the entire cycle of the breath. As we breathe in, noticing the tip of the nose, into the throat, the chest expanding, the belly expanding. Breathing out, the belly releasing, the chest coming back down, the warm air coming out of the nose. So wherever you are now, wherever you're following the breath, seeing if you can keep your attention there, holding your concentration with this delicate balance between discipline and ease, not sweating through our t-shirts, not trying so hard that we're tense, but not being so at ease that we fall asleep or that we lose focus and wander constantly. Remembering each time the mind wanders away that this is a normal part of our meditation process. We can gently guide our attention back to the breath. Back to these physical sensations. This awareness that we are breathing and we are alive. Are you still on the breath? Are you still concentrated? How's your posture? Coming back to that dignified posture, straightening up if you need to. Coming back to the breath. Whatever distracted you, it's not important now. Now is our time to meditate. Continue focusing on that feeling of breathing. Just a few more minutes to go. Congratulations, everyone. You've made it through today's practice. I'll close practice with 3 rings of the bell. All right. Well done, everybody. How did I go today? What was your practice like? And any comments or questions about this, this catching the bull? And yeah, I mean, does it resonate with you? Does it not? Is there things that you like about it? Are there things you don't like about it? Is it too Buddhist for you? Is it, tell me what you're experiencing with this series. Yeah, well, I see Gene says, says that I'm your horse whisperer, but I wish it worked like that. I really don't think, unfortunately, that there's a way that someone else can tame your mind for you. That there's always a really important element of self that's in there. But thanks for saying that. It's a nice compliment. Barbara says, my thoughts about the bull. What the heck will I do with a bull when I catch it? Thanks, Barbara. Jean says, I found myself wandering, thinking about open awareness versus focused attention. Yeah, thanks, Jean, for sharing. And that's interesting as well, that I was conscious. I was thinking about it last night before I went to bed. Like, wow, I've been doing so much focus attention practice on this live stream, and thinking, well, maybe I should change it up. But I feel like it really goes well with this, and I think it's worth it, for you and your practice as well. And if you're practicing with me over these few weeks, that we do try focused attention these few weeks and just see what happens. And I am quite aware that I have been doing so much focused attention, and I will be shifting to something else very soon. Open awareness is something we haven't done in ages. And I also think that open awareness is something that can be hard for novice meditators as well. That it's one that doesn't really resonate as much with beginners, generally speaking. Not to say, if you're a beginner, open awareness might work wonderfully for you. But I'd say for the majority of people, find it quite disorienting to do open awareness practice as kind of their regular practice. And this said, I have had practitioners in my MBSR class who have said, open awareness works best for me, and that's what I use. Anna asks, is the bull thinking or the observer? I think the bull in this case is supposed to be our true nature. The observer is the one who's catching the bull, right? As we continue practicing that observation, so the bull being the wild animal of the wild mind, is our minds, as you probably recognize through meditation, is something that is constantly doing whatever it wants to do. And so as the observer, as we continue doing our practice, that slowly and gently tames the bull most of the time, right? And again, this is why there's that balance between discipline and kindness. I hope that answers your question, Hannah. And Jean says, maybe my mind also is saying, or come back, you're supposed to be watching the breath. And thanks, Jean, for sharing, because this is another piece of inner commentary, right? This is, I think anytime we're hearing words in our minds, anytime we hear that inner monologue, that's a time to recognize, oh, I'm thinking, can I come back to that raw observation without thought, to be watching my breath exactly as it is, without thinking, oh, I'm watching my breath. Oh, this is the first breath that I've watched. This is the second breath. Oh, it seems my abdomen's really tight today. Without that inner commentary. Sybil shares, thank you, Ryan. I managed to stay focused. My pains and posture is distracting. I do like the idea of chasing the bull. I hunted up these bulls online. I do understand better. Like it, I do need to focus on the idea of the bull. Sharon, I came on number 3 last time. I want to continue with this. This is not the best time for me, but I will. Well, Sharon, you're in luck because I'm recording all of these. I record all these live events, and then I post them on YouTube, usually within 24 hours. So you can always go on YouTube. My channel is called Ryan's Daily Mindfulness. Ryan Grimes Mindfulness. Yeah, that's it. It's called Ryan Grimes Mindfulness, and you can check out anything you've missed there. And Jean says, allowing everything, letting it flow through you. I'm the observer and the bull is my monkey mind, says Sybil. Yes, I agree. All right, thanks so much, everybody. Time for me to say goodbye. All this talk about Thailand, I'm excited to say I'm not excited to say that I won't be here on Saturday to chat with you, but a friend of mine recently moved to Thailand, and I just wanted to go I want to go visit him, so see how he's doing. So I'll be heading to Bangkok later this afternoon. I'll be back by Sunday. So I'll see you again on Tuesday to talk about catching the bull. Hope you have a lovely weekend coming up, and encourage you to keep practicing. So let's share our well wishes with each other and with ourselves. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all sentient life throughout the universe, including those who have not yet been born, may we all be happy and peaceful. All right. See you next time. Bye-bye.